Welcome to another devlog. My name is Mauricio and this is chapter 33. Yes, 33 of my development. So, I've been thinking a lot about what to do with this game, what mechanic to apply in it to make it deviate a bit from what inspires The Legend of Zelda. So, in The Legend of Zelda we have an adventurer that is geared with many type of items that he finds throughout his journey. He has the bow, the hook shot, and many more that he uses across the entire game. I didn't want to take that approach because even though I'm inspired by retro games mostly, in this case for this specific development, Link's Awakening, and I want to make clear by all means that I respect every intellectual property and I do not intend to step the boundaries against any owner of rightful intellectual property. I want to deviate from a few things and make my game feel more original. So I decided to implement the following mechanic that I'm about to show you. Instead of grabbing many items across the dungeons to fulfill some specific task at hand, or kill a specific boss, or use that item to solve some kinds of puzzle, I decided to implement a few things that empower the character by changing the character, in this case our player. So I've taken the approach to give the player some abilities. In this case we can see in this item to our right, which seems like a disc with a feather in it, and I've given it a name. In this case I've given it the name of the essence. So what are the essences in this game? In this game, these are the essences of some animals that can transform the player and give him new abilities. And they are able to be used as long as the player has magic in his reservoir, which is the blue bar to the left. So let's test that out, shall we? So we now found the essence of the raven. Now fly! Since the essence is a magical object, it takes the theory of the heart and refuels your magic. So now if we hit the active button to execute this new ability that we have, our player now transforms into the creature of the raven in this case. So this has a few pros and cons. The pros are that now you can move across the holes, and this will let you get to places where you couldn't reach normally as a player. Obviously I'm thinking of applying it to other things as well, but for the moment I just have it for the holes, for the pitfalls and things like that. Now, the thing is that our player has his basic weapon, the sword. He can use the sword and attack without no consequence of losing energy or magic or whatever you want to call it. But if you transform into the raven, you're replacing your attack for the benefit of, first, moving faster, moving over pits, and, well, you have to give something in return for that. In this case, you cannot interact with objects, as I will show in a minute, and you cannot attack. So, for example, if I transform into the raven, I can move through the holes, as I showed before, but I cannot move the block, because in theory, the raven doesn't have the strength to do so. Also, if I try to attack, I cannot attack because I'm the raven in this case. Now, if I have no magic, the player goes back to its original form. And if you try to transform without magic, you get a uh-oh sound telling you that you cannot transform. So it's a give and take situation where you transform into one of these essences that you collect throughout the world to achieve something. You get some abilities and some advantages, but you give something in return as long as you're transformed. In this case, you cannot attack, but you move faster, and you can go and leap over the holes in the world. So let's give the player a bit more magic in this case, and you can do things like, I need to cross this pitfall, so I can transform, cross, transform back, and then do my attacks. Of course, this is giving me idea to try different types of animals with different abilities to fulfill and accomplish things. Maybe solve other types of puzzles, maybe have some animals that have some special attacks that can use for certain things like breaking walls or other types of objects and of the sort. So I think that this is going a good way. I'm very pleased with this mechanic, and I hope that I can get the demo soon so that you guys can play it and give me your feedback. I would very much love your comments about what do you think about this mechanic. I maybe put some items in the game, but some basic things like a bow and arrow, something like that. If I implement this essence mechanic, I do not intend by any way apply other things unless the community asks for them on the feedback that can drain your magic in that way, but that will all come to be realized in the, of course, the feedback that I get from the demo when it is released. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm trying to do my best with these recordings, keep them as short as possible. I'm still new at this and still getting the hang of it, of all the niche little details and things that one can do with it. So I really hope that you like it. Please consider subscribing, sharing, liking the video, comment it, share it with your friends and with other people that you might think that like this type of games. And as always, I'll see you in the next video of the next development, hoping to bring new things.